addressed the comparisons often made between him and one and only Michael Jordan. And he said this, quote, "There are a lot of things that MJ did better than I do. And I think there are some things that I do better than him. That's just how the game goes. There's a lot of things that I can say in particular. You already know how this conversation is going to be misinterpreted by people, man." And then McManaman asks, has it been a burden as an adult, that ambition? Because now everybody brings it up. You can't escape the comparison. To which LeBron responded by saying, quote, "No, I think it's a very tiring conversation. It's barbershop talk. You can look at both of us and say that you love both of us without trying to shh on the other person. And usually it's the shh on me. But I know for sure that I've done my part in this journey. And more than anything, I hope, and I don't know, but I hope I made him proud, at least wearing that number 23, end quote. Okay, so when LeBron speaks on the matter, then we have to have the discussion here, Stephen A. What are your thoughts on what LeBron had to say about himself and Michael Jordan?
I came across, and I think that it's relatively disappointing. And I want Mike Wilbon and Doggy, two historians, people that I look up to. So I want to say this directly in front of them, and I'm open to the discussion. Everything that LeBron James said was right on point. When he dissected the difference between his game, Michael Jordan, how he looked at things, how he approaches the game. He looked to pass first. Michael Jordan looked to shoot first, et cetera, et cetera. All of those things are accurate. I didn't have a single syllable that he uttered until the last line, when he talked about you can look at two guys without, for the purpose of shitting on somebody. But obviously, it's usually somebody doing that to me. That is where the problem lies. Because what we don't talk about enough, Wilbon and Doggy, is as great as LeBron James is and how much he deserves to be celebrated, we don't talk about what he has done to hurt, not the game, but narratives associated with the game because of how he responds to it. I looked it up, Wilbon and Doggy. Do y'all know that there have been over 5,400 players in NBA history that have played in the NBA? Put Wilbon and Doggy up on the screen, please. I want to see them. 5,400 plus players in the NBA. I have LeBron James as number 2 all time. We're talking about Russell. We're talking about Kareem. We're talking about Wilt. We're talking about Kobe. We're talking about Elgin Baylor and Oscar Robertson and all these people. The man number 2. In his world, that's an insult. That is how he has acted with so many people along the way. But he doesn't do it directly, as you know, Wilbon, and as you should know, Doggy. Oh, no. Other people do it for him. I remember years ago when I'm sitting there joking around with Rich Paul, and I'm like, y'all act like that's an insult. Seriously, with a serious face, Rich Paul looks me in the face. It is an insult. What? That is the problem. And so what happens is they've given the impression that I'll use the word poop for FCC airwaves now. We're pooping on players, okay? We're talking about them. What do we do to today's players that wasn't done before? I understand the advent of social media and beyond, and that everybody has a voice and everybody has a podcast and everybody got something to say. But in terms of the actual narratives, who hasn't gone through it? You tell me the player, Wilbon, you've been coaching, you've been covering the NBA for 40 years. You tell me, Doggy, Hall of Fame radio host for 40 years. You tell me what has been said about today's players that wasn't said about dudes in the past in terms of their on-court performance. We always compared. We always put one above the other. We talked about Isaiah Thomas. Isn't he one of the greatest point guards to have ever lived? Didn't we bring up Nate Tiny Archibald? Didn't we bring up Bob Cousy? Didn't we later bring up the Allen Iversons of the world? Haven't we brought up Magic Johnson? Didn't we bring up John Stockton? Didn't we bring up, name after name, shoot guards, Elgin Baylor, Oscar Robertson, all of these people. Jerry West was the silhouette. Didn't we bring up the fact that he had 1 title in 9 tries? We've done it to everybody. Didn't we bring up the turnovers with Magic Johnson in the finals against Boston, where he cried like a baby in the shower, Wilbon, which you know better than most? It broke his heart, and how he was determined to come back and got him not once but 2 more times. Didn't we talk about that? The great Wilt Chamberlain. Didn't we say he quit during an NBA Finals appearance? But somehow, some way, all of these generations of players embraced and accepted it's talk, it's basketball talk, and it's reserved for the great ones. So we can debate it, but there's no doubt if your name is in the conversation, it's because you're an all-time great. But when it comes to LeBron James, oh no, you pooping on a player. You dogging them. It's the negativity. It's what's happened to the game. And instead of appreciating how he is revered, how much we'll miss him when he's gone, how we cannot deny that this man belongs on the Mount Rushmore of basketball. My career wouldn't be what it is if it were not for people like him. Yours wouldn't either. Yours wouldn't either, Doggy or Wilbon. None of us. They helped us be who we are. But we're talking about it, and when we talk about it and we compare, oh, we're dogging them. And you've fostered that mentality to the modern day players in such a way that the heightened level of sensitivity has regressed to a point of embarrassment where we're literally looking at grown men who are elite, prestigious. We look at them, we admire, damn it, we wish we were them, at least physically and in terms of their capabilities, because we know they are things that we could never hope to be. We talk about it, we celebrate it, we debate it, we revere them, we big up them, we prop them, all of it. And none of it matters because how dare you compare? That is what LeBron James does when he brings out the part of us pooping and diminishing the players. He takes it that way, but then he leaves it to others to speak on it instead of owning it himself. You have a conversation, and that's all it would take. I'll say this last part. All of that stuff that happens with he and I'm not rooting against him. I'm a grown man. Wilbon is my big brother. Wilbon talked to me many, many times. You understand? I got it. I wish that man nothing but the best. I'm looking forward to celebrating him tonight. Bronny's looking good. Got a lot of potential. I'm really happy for him. Truly, truly am. But all the stuff that happened is because of that narrative right there. And LeBron James confirmed it yet again. His heightened level of sensitivity attaches an angst and a negativity to it that isn't there. He's on the Mount Rushmore of basketball. He never hears that. Instead, he hears that, oh, he's not the GOAT. And because of that, it's insulting to him. That is what the problem is with him and a lot of the modern day players who are so anxious to support him instead of listening to what we're actually saying.
Stephen A., the thing is, that's not particular just to basketball. That's the culture we live in now.
Okay.
Popular music, entertainment, hating on, any criticism is seen as that. Okay. I've tuned a lot of that out. I've tuned most of it out. I tune out the people. I hear you about when they talk about people around LeBron, including Rich Paul. I've said to Rich, you know, if calling LeBron a top 5 basketball player is an insult to you, get over it. So I've tuned them out. I've tuned that out. Everything LeBron said in that interview with Dave McMenamin, everything he said is right on the money. Everything he said. But LeBron is the one who puts the crown on his head. LeBron is the one who has said he's the GOAT. Michael doesn't say that. And the conversation has become tiresome to me because you're almost required to say something negative about the person you aren't supporting in the argument. We're all entrenched in our positions. I'm entrenched in mine. Jordan's the GOAT. It ain't going to change. LeBron is one of the top, depending on what day you talk to me, 2, 3, 4, 5 players of all time, depending on whether I'm going to have Magic above him or Kareem above him or Kobe above him or not, or have LeBron 2. Top 5. Anybody who's insulted by that, too damn bad. Not hearing you. So I think we have to tune some of that out. But LeBron is so, one of the difficult thing about this whole discussion, again, it's tiresome to me. I don't even engage in it anymore. And I'm not going to listen to people from two generations who watch clips. If you don't watch games, shut up. I don't hear you. There's two generations of people now who watch clips. I start arguments with my son who's 18 and plays a lot of basketball and has lived with these people, met LeBron many times. And I'm like, dude, you grew up, don't tell me about what clips. I don't want to hear about clips. You can go to YouTube and watch Oscar. You can go to YouTube and watch, Robert Parrish. You can go, I don't want to hear it. If you don't watch games, shut up and get out of the conversation. So, but Michael Jordan, let me just stop here. Jordan specifically and repeatedly refuses to say he's the GOAT. On the morning he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, I sat with him for an 18-minute live on SportsCenter interview. And I said, Michael, is it important to you to know today that you're the greatest basketball player ever? He said, no, it's important to not say it. I'm not going to say I'm better than Bird. I'm not going to say I'm better than Magic. He put Julius Erving in that sentence. I think he had Kareem in it.
Yes, he did.
And so there's a...
Yes, he did.
If when you're the GOAT, you don't have to say it. Others will say it. And so LeBron is great in every way for the industry of basketball, for sport in general. He is great for all of it. But this notion of those around him, you don't have him to go. No, never. Not going to be that. And if you don't like it, so what? And I think you have to get to that place where you just say enough. And so I haven't engaged in this in months now because I refuse to. But you know what I'm saying, Stephen A? It's LeBron makes an accurate point. You do have to say bad things about one to boost the other. That's what I don't like about the GOAT discussion. But
I'm gonna let Doggy get in here because this conversation don't go nowhere. The only thing that I would push back, Will Bond, is that it depends on what your definition of negative is. I got a bunch of stats here that's comparing Michael Jordan to LeBron James.
Yeah.
There's nothing negative here about LeBron James. Not one thing.
Well, but some of the arguments are.
Let me say this.
Out of bounds.
Here's what I mean. What I'm trying to say. Here's what I mean. I'm gonna pass it to Doggy because I want Doggy to get in here. I got 6 championships to your 4. Okay. Now you could hear it 2 ways. You could hear that you're too shy of 6, or you could hear that you're a 4-time champion. So my point is, Mike, it's their interpretation of the negative.
Yeah.
And that's the point. That's the point. Doggy is on radio. Doggy, I'm listening to you. Listen, you might go up about the Mets. You might go up about the Phillies. We could talk about a lot of different things. But it's based on what they give you and the information. And if Aaron Judge goes up there and he strikes out 5 times and you say, damn, it was a bad night. He struck out 5 times. Like, damn. That's what happened. Yeah, and this generation will sit up there and treat you, oh, you hating, you were dogging me.
Yes.
No, that's a fact. It's what happened. And that is the difference. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead, Doggy.
Well, number one, this is part of sports. It's been going on this way forever. Brady Manning, Willie Mays and DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle. There's been comparisons forever. Magic and Bird played against in college. Kareem and Wilton Russell. I mean, this stuff's been going on for 100,000 years. I mean, Gretzky and Gordie Howe. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on and on. This is what makes sports fun. Well, lists. It's lists. This is what I do for the last 45 years. I did a hockey list the other day. We put the top 5 hockey guys of all time. Gretzky, Howe, Crosby, Mario Lemieux, and Bobby Orr. Maybe somebody at number 6 is not going to like it. Well, what do you want to do? That's his radio. This is fun. Why is he getting so wrapped up on this? And by the way, don't listen to agents. Rich Paul, I got a great agent. I don't listen to him when it comes to telling me what's what. I love Montag. He don't tell me who is the best player. I could care less, Sandy. Let me handle that. Rich Paul, who cares? Rich Paul doesn't know this stuff like, he doesn't know this stuff like we do. I've been doing this for 50, 60 years. I've seen all these guys, and I am one of those guys who went on YouTube, who didn't see Mikan, who didn't see Kuzi. I love them, but I made sure I watched some of these games. I get a little sense of it. And I do the same thing for my kids. I make them watch Bird against Olajuwon in the 86 final. I made during the pandemic, especially. Walton against Julius in '77 in Game 6 when Irving had 40 and Walton was great. Just to get a little sense of what it's about historically. And LeBron, listen, the difference to me. And I put Bird a little higher than you guys do, but the difference with LeBron and Jordan to me is the assassin's bullet. There have been times in LeBron's career, the Dallas series when the Mavericks beat him is the perfect example, where he has at times, early on especially, where he may have shied away. He had an awful series against Dallas when he had Wade, and they should have won that series. They were much better, and Dallas beat him. Nowitzki's championship. LeBron did not play well in that series. Every time, and like Michael, like Steven, I was at all these games. Every time I saw Jordan in a big spot, with the possible exception of Game 6 one year in Indiana when he looked old, every time I never saw Jordan have a bad moment. That goes back to college when he won a championship as a freshman. Goes back to that. I've seen a few of those with LeBron, and we're splitting hairs. This is all split the hair stuff. You know, it's close. But we're splitting hairs. So I'll go Jordan based on that. I got to come up with a reason. But it's not that important. In the best, Steven said, in the big picture, 5,400 people have played basketball. And some people think you're second and that's an insult? Oh, come on. If somebody thought that I was the second best talk show host of all time doing sports, that's an honor. I don't care who the first. I'd like to be the first, but if you think I'm the second, hey, you know what? That's a pat in the back. What's the big deal? Gee whiz, take it easy.
Well said.
This is not the end of the world here.
I mean, I agree. But, like, he did draw the comparisons himself. When he had the number 23, the conversations, putting on the crown, like, he did draw these comparisons to us from the jump on himself. Okay, speaking of that, we'll have much more to get to on this subject, and we will do that next. We'll take a little pause. We'll be right back here on First Take.